Hi there. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Follow Your Passion podcast. I'm your host, Erwin Wils. I'm a mindset and business strategist and founder of Millionaire Life Strategy. In this podcast, I'm interviewing my clients and other entrepreneurs that are following their passion and make a good living out of it. When you want to know more about me or what I can do for you, check out my website, millionaireLifestrategy.com. But first, check out this episode of Follow Your Passion. Hi everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Follow Your Passion. Let me introduce my guest of today. It's Mickey Daly Mikkelson. Mickey is a founder and owner of Creative Edge, a literary publicity firm that represents over 90 authors worldwide and growing. He started his company from very humble beginnings and grew it while working at it on a part-time basis. Once he went full-time in September 2019, he rapidly grew his represented author list from 35 to over 90 and counting. Amongst his clientele are 2 New York Times bestsellers, 7 USA Today bestsellers, multiple award winners in different genres, and multiple international bestsellers as well. Mickey loves to work with some of the greatest literary minds in the industry and helps them to spread their message. Welcome, Mickey. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me, Erwin. And I'm great today. Actually, it's been a wonderful ride. So I appreciate you bringing me on today. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. We spoke earlier, Mickey, and you told me that you actually got into this business by helping a colleague. Is that correct?
That is correct. I was working in the corporate sector in the credit union system in Saskatchewan. Mm-hmm. I have a coworker who was working out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, and she wrote a book. And that individual's name is Miranda O. Previous to my role in the corporate sector, I worked at Chapters Indigo as a special events manager. And so I offered to help her, and we got 8 signings in our first Alberta trip together. And they came from there and just fell in my lap. And that was in March 2016.
Wow. So, and the next 3 years, you actually used to build your company part-time to your day job?
Yeah. So I was working full-time in the corporate sector. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, signing authors for my business and doing all of that on a part-time basis, reaching out to media in between lunch hours, early mornings, late nights. And at that time, we had about 35 authors represented. So from all sectors, not just Canada, where I live, but United States as well. So for the first 3 years in the business, I was doing this half-fast.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when you started working full-time in your business, you had a incredible growth, if I might say so. You went from 35 authors to over 90. How did you do that?
Well, and now to be candid, I mean, we're over 100 authors now. We also represent six small press publishers too. And so part of that rationale was I was always getting requests for more authors wanting to sign with me. But when I was doing this on part-time level, I didn't have the bandwidth to support more authors because
of course,
then the quality starts to drop because you're just doing too much. When my company got into a merger situation, my position was eliminated. So that led the way for me to actually go full time with this. And we grew from 35 to almost 90 in the span of a month and a half because I started contacting all the people who wanted to work with me. And of course that's happened. And now we're over 100. So
nice.
It's been an incredible growth, actually.
Yeah, I can imagine that. And you're not let's say specialized in a certain genre like fiction, non-fiction, or personal development. Your clients are in all kinds of genres, right?
We represent virtually every genre there is. At least I have probably one author in every span of space in the genre piece. And for me, and I guess my media opportunities, that's a bit of an advantage because we can now pick and choose who we send for media opportunities based on genre, style, writing, all of that. And when I send my client list to a media affiliate, I mean, you saw it, or I sent it to you, it's pretty powerful because we have authors from every type of level or book that you can think of, and multiples of them are having widespread success.
Nice. Do you have a certain preference for a certain genre, or doesn't it matter to you?
There's no preference in terms of genre. I do have a selection process that I over go through when I'm signing an author on, though. And we usually have a bit of a conversation about that, just to see if it's going to be a fit or not. Not only with me, but they have to fit with the rest of my team as well.
Oh, definitely. Because I also suppose you're actually building long-lasting relationships with your clients as well.
Clients and media, which is the more important piece, because without the media and without those opportunities, number one, I don't have a business, and the authors don't have a platform to showcase their works on.
Yeah, indeed. You don't want to be become the best kept secret of the world, right?
Well, no, you don't. Well, the authors don't, because no one reads their books then. What's the point of writing it, really, right?
Exactly, yeah. So, if you're talking about the team, you're not a solopreneur anymore. You got a team around you that are helping your clients and doing the things. Do you think it's important for the team members as well to share the same values and have the same vision like you have?
Well, I want to clarify that, though, Erwin, if I can, because
Sure.
I'm still a solopreneur. I don't have anybody helping me. When I reference my team, I'm actually talking about my clients, because in my mind, we're a community. I'm not contracted as an employee to them, and vice versa. It's definitely a group community effort. So when I'm referencing team, I'm really talking about my 100 clients.
Oh, wow.
As far as workload, it's me. I don't have a virtual assistant or anybody else like that. I have an affiliate that I work with, and her name is Amy Ravichandran from Abundantly Social. She's a social media guru out of Houston, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And she helps me a little bit, but we're not formed a full merger. But she is my forum for bouncing ideas off and strategizing. But as far as employees go, it's Mickey, no one else.
Okay. Well, thanks for clarifying. But it's also beautiful that you consider your clients to be team members as well, and that's beautiful indeed, because it's a joint effort to make it a success.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before in previous interviews, but the Titanic movie,
mm-hmm.
where Leonardo and Kate are together, and Leonardo was like, "You jump, I jump." That's how it is with my team. We have a vested interest in working together. It's a big community, 100 plus, but it is still a community. And when I started this company, that's what I was really going for, because I was referencing and leveraging the credit union mandate and standpoint. And that's what that industry does. They focus on grassroots, community building, collaboration, all of those kind of type of working relationships. And that's what I'm really trying to strive with this.
Nice. And how did you come up with the name Creative Edge?
My 9-year-old autistic daughter created the name, and she created the logo, which is basically two puzzle pieces connecting. Yeah. One of those puzzle pieces is blue, and that was for autism, because that's what the symbol is. And then the other puzzle piece is white, and it's connecting everything together. What was what her words were. She was like, "Dad, you're connecting media, you're connecting your authors, you're connecting everything from a creative standpoint, and we'll call it Creative Edge, so that it reinforces that authors don't walk off the edge because then they fall flat. So she did all that. At 9 years old, she did that.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah, I can imagine. You should be very proud of your daughter, and she might be proud of herself as well, because that's an amazing story, Mickey.
Yeah, thank you. She's proud of her dad. She knows that her dad has built something really good, and she enjoys the stories. And I mean, she's 15 now, and she enjoys seeing her dad on interviews like this and just what everybody's doing. So it's good.
Nice. So, do you have a certain story about a client that truly, I would almost say, like, blew your mind, that became so big success you didn't even expect it to be?
Signing one for sure. I represent Robert J. Sawyer. He's one of the biggest names in the science fiction market. He's the only Canadian to win all major science fiction awards. He had a TV series of one of his books on ABC for one season, Flash Forward. And he's also a member of the Order of Canada.
Wow.
Now, I was at a book festival in Calgary called When Words Collide. And I had a lot of authors represented at that festival because when I started this, I was living in Calgary, so I was able to network. And so a lot of my authors were signed originally in Calgary. I made the idea of having a team dinner together at the When Words Collide Festival. And so there was 12 or 13 of us at a table. And one of my represented authors was actually friends with Robert. And Robert asked this individual, what's happening over there? Like, you and Mickey and all, like, what's going on with this supper or whatever you guys got going on there? And this individual told Robert, well, it's Mickey's lunch. It's his Creative Edge Publicity luncheon. He's like, Creative Edge? Yeah, Mickey's a publicist now. And I knew Robert from a long time ago. I met him once. And so after this supper, I get a text the next day. Hi, Mickey, it's Robert J. Sawyer. I'd like to talk to you about your services. And at that time, I didn't have anybody as substantial as that. All of my authors, and they're really, 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 really good authors, but they were mostly indie, small press published authors, or they were just writing their first book. Yeah. Robert, I think at the time, had 23 books out, and he's a very big deal in the industry. So when he reached out to me and we had a discussion, I think he signed the next day. It was mind-blowing for me that, number one, he wanted to work with me, but also scary because I'm like, am I going to be able to get stuff for him that, different wheelhouse, different whole new ball game, right? All of a sudden you're going from like the middle leagues to like the big leagues, right? So yeah. But it worked out. He's still a client today. So nice. Yeah.
And I also loved the little remark you made that I'm not sure if every listener has picked up on that, but that you said that authors reach out to you when you were still doing it part-time. You couldn't offer your services because you couldn't guarantee the quality they would receive that from your services. So I think that's a very great way of doing business, and it also shows that quality is a very big thing for you to deliver the best at your ability for your clients, for your team.
It is. I'm a really big believer in quality, and I sometimes fail at that, but overall I like to put out professional and give my clients the best service they can, and hold myself accountable to that. But also within that, I hold my clients accountable as well. I'm never going to sign an author who doesn't have a professional website. I'm never going to sign an author who doesn't have a professional headshot. I'm never going to sign an author whose book is not properly formatted, edited, or have a nice, vibrant book cover, because it's not going to interest anybody. And whatever author comes on to work with me, they're actually representing Creative Edge, which means they're representing 100 other individuals. So it all has to match.
Yeah, definitely. And I love that philosophy and that's actually what I also meant with having your core values. If you make it very clear what people can expect from you and how you're playing the game, so to speak, and when they align with it, they're more than welcome to join. But if they don't align with that or have other ideas, then there's not a match.
You're 100% right. And and my authors will tell people this and tell me this. It's true. I have very set processes. I have very set guidelines on how I do things. And the reason that is it's been successful. If I did something and it wasn't successful, there's obviously going to be ebbs and flows in how we do work and how we do processes. But if something's successful, why break it? It's successful.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Nice. So where do you see yourself going in the near future with your company?
Signing more high quality people, putting my company and my clients on a larger international stage, I'm hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
We actually, with Abundantly Social last month, we acquired Top Shelf Magazine, which is one of the major literary magazines in the United States. They've been in around 5-6 years, but they've had multiple New York Times bestsellers on their front covers. They have a Top Shelf award that they do. It's just been a really, really good fit. And our goal is to spread that magazine out and then look at other affiliations within the medium. So that's what our mandate's going to be going forward. It's not a full merger of companies, but it is an affiliate, and Top Shelf is an entity that we both basically own.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Great. And I guess you also surrounded with professionals that can also add value to your clients.
What do you mean by that question, Erwin?
Well, that I can imagine that people want to have a proofread their book, or okay. To have it to make the covers and stuff like that. And that's not the things you do, but I guess that what I'm trying to say is that cooperation is a very important part of your business as well, I can imagine.
Yes, it is. So do I have represented editors through works and ghostwriters? I do. I have multiple authors who are editors. I have a couple authors who are ghostwriters. I have, working with Amy, she's a social media guru. I work with another girl in Calgary. Her name is Catherine Seclay Stevens. She is also a social media expert. And so there's a lot of, although we're not officially merging with any of these entities, we are working with them, and we do see them as valued full partnerships.
Yeah.
And it's a win-win for everybody abroad, because there's a lot of things that we can do to leverage Zoom calls and presentations and do all kinds of different things. And as a community, everybody's getting the benefit of that. And I'm so proud of that fact, because that's really what I wanted to do when I started this company, is have that.
Yeah. And it's, I think it's very healthy business plan.
Thank you. I think it's worked very well for me. It's worked very well for all of us, actually. So.
Yeah. Well, talking about business plan and business, I always say to a lot of prospects and clients, people I talk to, you can be very good in your field of expertise, but that doesn't make you necessarily an entrepreneur. How has the entrepreneurial journey been for you?
In the beginning, I made some mistakes in terms of relationships and pricing and all those kind of things. But, honestly, for the first 6 to 8 months in business, I didn't charge anything to anybody. I was working for free for all of my clients. And I did that for a reason. I didn't want to have them pay for something if they didn't find it valuable, first and foremost. Number two, I wasn't sure that I could be successful line up my interviews and book reviews and just marketing my team's platforms. So I didn't charge anything for any of my services. And to be honest, and I'll publicly say this here, a lot of those authors, and I don't work with a lot of them now, just due to circumstances, but a lot of those authors gave of themselves and they let me practice my work on their formats and their platforms. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. So publicly, I want to thank all of them. I won't say names. They know who they are if they listen to this. But I want to thank them for taking a risk on me because, I'm in my 6th year now and we're growing. That wouldn't have happened if those individuals wouldn't have let me practice what I do now and be successful with it.
Nice. And it also shows what kind of person you are, Mickey, by appreciating all those corporations you had and the opportunities you got from them as well to develop your business and to get you to the level you're right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked wonders. And I said earlier, have I made mistakes in this industry? Sure, I have, especially during the growing stages. But I think any kind of business is going to have and make mistakes as they go through a journey like this. It's just inevitable because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
And you learn hard lessons and then you tweak and you get better the next time. And
it's what one of my coaches said as well. You shouldn't be afraid to fall because you will fall, but it's all about how you get up again. I learned from it.
Absolutely. I mean, the Beatles weren't born in a day. It took them years to become the Beatles.
Yeah.
Stephen King too. It took him years to become Stephen King. So these are just two very, very substantial examples in culture, but it's truth, right?
Yeah.
We're not all perfect.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah. Neither should we be, I guess, because we still want to grow. We want to develop ourselves, right? There's always room for improvement.
Always, with everybody. And I'm part of that process. I'm improving every day. I learn something new every single day working with so many dynamic individuals.
Yeah. So, what has been the how do I say that? You said you learn every day, right? Is there a certain learning that opened your eyes in some way?
Working with authors on an individual specific basis, I never realized, and this isn't a shot, it's a fact, I never realized how much authors put stock in marketing their books. And how much that a lot of authors, not all, but a lot of authors didn't know how to get their names out there. So much money too, like authors spend so much money on marketing, and especially self-published indies who don't understand the rules or don't know the engagement aspect. So they spend a ton of money with hopes that their books are going to get out there to the real world. But that money is sometimes put in the wrong places. And so they get frustrated and ultimately spend more, not knowing that what they're doing is actually hurting the business, and not knowing they can hire a publicist as well, thinking that I have to do this all myself, when in reality, they really don't, even if they're self-published individuals. Because if you're traditionally published through Penguin or Hachette, you have a publicist working with you on your book, 3 months to 6 months only, but you still do. Whereas someone who's an indie, they don't have that. And so much like my business, Their business is their book, and it's all on them to market that. So yeah, it's amazing. It just blows me away, actually.
Yeah, I can imagine that, and I totally agree with that, because it's, maybe you could compare it with social media advertising, right?
Yeah,
It's actually a separate business. It's
it
an
is.
art. You have to study it. You have to know the rules, know all the things that are part of this business. And a lot of entrepreneurs as well, they think they can do social media, Facebook ads, Google ads, stuff like that. But if you don't know what you're actually doing, you're wasting your money.
You are. And authors do this all the time. They will put out Facebook ads, they'll put out Amazon ads, they will do all kinds of different things in an effort to get those sales. And some authors are really good at that. They are. But there's a lot of authors who aren't. And it's frustrating for them. And I get why it would be, because if you don't know what you don't know, you got to try something, or else you wrote this book for, well, you, and no one's going to see it. So what's the point of that, right?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So yeah. And there's so many predators in this industry. You have to be so careful with what you do.
Yeah, I can imagine that. So, talking about your authors and the books they write, do you see like a common theme why they are writing the books?
Not really. I mean, I think that there's so many genres and so many different aspects, even nonfiction and memoir too. But I think the nonfiction ones, there's more of a point of process around what they're writing through life experiences. I mean, we've got authors who've written with PTSD and mental health aspects and health overall, and business books and things like that. But then we have the fiction side of things, where there's thriller writers and science fiction and fantasy, and they just want to create worlds and stories that are meant to entertain and all of those kind of things. So it's a really incredible world of writing. And I think every author is different in their main goals of why they do what they do. Most are incredibly artistic and creative. And then there's a few who are writing this from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
And so there's a combination of both those things.
Yeah. So working with all those authors, I should never ask this question to you, but
Okay.
have you written your own book, or do you feel inspired to write your own book?
I get asked this question a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And my answer to that is I haven't written a book, and I don't really have interest in writing a book, just because I've seen the editorial process. And number one, it's long. Number two, I'm good with just writing press releases. That's as much writing as I like to do. But the bigger reason for that, I don't want to do something that's going to take away from energies of my clients. My clients and Creative Edge are my passion. And if I started to write a book on something, even a subject I'm interested in, like the 1960s, which is something I'm really incredibly interested in, 60s history, I mean, I don't want to start a project that's going to take away from any of my clients' energies. And so I will likely never write a book, and just feed that artistic integrity from my authors directly.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's also shows your dedication to your team, to your clients as well. And I love hearing that, Mickey.
Well, there's lots of publicists and there's lots of agents in this industry who write books, and they get their works out there, and they're trying to do all the other things like what I'm doing. But I just think that, and maybe I'm wrong in this, but I'm going to say it, I think there's ulterior motives, because now you can still self-promote. And maybe I'm doing a little bit of self-promoting by being on your show and other shows. But at the same time, we're also building the Creative Edge brand. And if we can build up the platform for the Creative Edge brand, that's not going to help just me. That's going to help my other clients as well. because they're part of this. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I always say, that there are many ships and many captains on it, right? And as long as your ship is going the right way, then it's okay,
I
so whether or not you're right or wrong, you're doing the right thing for yourself, for the company, and that's great.
Don't hit the iceberg. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Right? Don't hit the iceberg. You don't want to sink.
Exactly. So, do you got any exciting projects coming up for you?
Other than focusing on Top Shelf, which we got last month, not really. I mean, our focus is going to be building that magazine up, and then, I mean, my authors have new releases out all the time. I'm doing between average 8 to 10 to 13 press releases every single month for my clients. And when I'm doing that, it's not a cookie cutter approach. I'm individualizing emails, and I'm targeting different media aspects for different people and all that stuff. So it's fun, but it's work for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. It takes a lot of time to do it personalized, but I guess that by personalizing the messages, let's put it in a commercial term, the conversion rate is a lot higher because the recipient of your message feels that it's personalized.
Yeah, you're not doing an email blast to 150 media affiliates and not personalizing it because it's not going to be effective. Media get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails every single day, pitches like from publicists like me. And the ones that stand out are those ones that are where you're taking care and control and you're individualizing the message. That's what I've found. Exactly.
And it's quality over quantity.
You're not wrong. And we're successful, and I'm successful because we've identified what media like. We get to know them as people. We build relationships. And when a media outlet sees a press release or an email from me, they know the quality of the individual they'll be getting for their show, podcast, whatever.
Yeah.
Because we've done this process and we've sent multiple clients to multiple areas. And our team is very, very skilled at giving a very good interview. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And it's also very interesting to hear that quality is one of your core values, so to speak, because it defines it makes it also how do you say that? People know what you're good for, right? You become predictable for them, and I think that's a very important piece of being successful in the entrepreneurial world. If you become predictable by the quality you deliver, the people you deliver, people love doing business with you.
Well, it's a relationship, right? And here's an example of that, if I can. I get between 5 and 7 TV interviews a month from the station where I live.
Mm-hmm.
I got an email last month stating from my contact at this TV station stating, Mickey, we're short-staffed this month. Can we please hold off on sending press releases until we get the new people trained up? Why would they bother, or why would they take the time to let me know that? Well, they do it because it's a relationship. I didn't need to know that they were short-staffed. I didn't need to know that they were onboarding new people. I could have sent them 5 releases and they could have just either ignored them or just said no. But they took the time to send me a message and say, can you please, can we table this until next month when we get our new people trained?
Yeah.
And to me, that's a relationship, because they're seeing me as a value partner of them and letting me know the ends of their business, right?
Yeah.
So I said, we'll table that, and then next month we'll start fresh. And they're like, great, we'll do that. But I mean, that was just incredible to me because they don't have to do that for me. They don't have to tell me that.
Yeah.
But they did.
Yeah,
So
I can imagine that. Yeah, and it makes you, it confirms that you're doing the right things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. So
right.
Would you consider, because I think big part of your business, and you already mentioned it actually, is building relationships. Would you consider yourself also to being a people's person?
At certain times I can be. Like my authors, I'm extremely introverted. And so I tend to keep to myself a lot personally. But end of the day, if I have to network or if I have to build business relationships, and I did this for 8 years in the credit union system as well, I can do that. And it's no different than my team. My team or my authors are most of them are very, very introverted, meaning they don't like to do the interviews, or it's not what they want to sit at a table and they want to write and they want to spend time doing whatever they do. But when the moment comes on to be on stage, whether it be a podcast, a TV interview, or a radio interview, they can switch that. They can flip that switch, and then they can do it. And then once it's over, they go back to being introverted.
Yeah,
I'm the exact same way. I work the same way, all of that. So
yeah. But I would even say that introverts are maybe even better in building relationships with people, because once they start building the relationship, it lasts.
It does, and it's solid, and it's reputable, and that can go over a very, very long period of time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I love talking to you, Mickey, and about
you.
about your business.
I like talking to you too. It's great.
Great. So, if you could share a little tip or piece of wisdom about following your passion or entrepreneurship or anything that comes to mind to the audience, what could it be, Mickey?
Treat your clients the way you would want to be treated. Don't look at business as just a business. Look at it from a relationship standpoint as a community, and keep that community value not only with your clients' accounts or whatever you're doing, but also your suppliers, or in my case, media affiliates. Keep them all very grassroots. Even if you do expand, make sure you still have that hometown community, small type feel as you go through the industry that you're working in.
Nice.
That's what I would say.
That's great advice. And if I can even put a little twist on that, something to consider as well. Just be the devil's advocate. Look at your own business and think to yourself, would I do business with my company, myself?
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. That's perfect. Because if I'm an author wanting to sign with Creative Edge, I look at the results and I look at the team, and I would probably do that, but then I'm biased. So
yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So, Mickey, if people want to know more about you or about Creative Edge or get in touch with you, how can you do that?
They can go to my website, www.creative-edge.services. And my information is all on my contact page. My clients are listed on my client page. Our mission is on there, all kinds of things.
Perfect. Wonderful. Like I said earlier, Mickey, I really love talking about you, about your passion, about your business, and how you came where you're right now. Let's stay in touch, and I wish you all the best business that you can handle without losing the quality, of course.
Thank you so much for having me, and thanks for doing this. I really appreciated it.
I hope you liked this episode. Make sure to check out the other episodes, because each one is filled with interesting and inspiring stories and energy. Are you following your passion as well and make a good living out of it? Contact me and you could be my next guest. Would you like to follow your passion but are not there yet? Check out my website millionaireLifeStrategy.com and book an appointment to discover what I could do for you. Don't forget to share the podcast with your friends so that they get inspired as well.